Hi, Sonny. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Holy fuck. It's been like goddamn how long?
This
Yo, this guy's making us look bad and shit, man.
huh?
Who? This guy right here.
Oh, yo, no,
Wait,
no, what are you
is he to
talking
the left
about?
of you? Is he to the left
Oh,
of
he's
you? Yeah, you're down there.
Yeah, you're on the bottom for me.
And
there.
this guy's over there.
Who, me?
No, Tawny. He's over
Oh, fuck.
there.
Why are you tearing it up?
It's supposed to be tearing it up, but now I realize it could be pronounced tearing, and I know I fucked up.
Yeah. You're crying in your pink room.
There's literally people
Yo,
at
but
work are
that's
like, "Are
a
you
yo.
tearing it
He,
up or you're tearing it up today?" I'm like, "I'm tearing it up today. I'm not tearing it up today."
I guess it could work for both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the pink colors right now.
yeah, it's my brand color, but now I'm kind of thinking I should probably change my brand
Your
color.
brand color's
So,
pink?
yeah, my brand color is pink.
What brand?
I have a brand.
What brand?
Me, Tawny, Tawny's brand.
So you're pink?
Yeah,
You're Pink Panther?
no,
Yeah, that's pretty old, dude. Why
yeah, I
that's
don't
from
think
a
anyone
while
knows
back,
that.
man. I
What?
wonder if the new gen even knows what Pink Panther is, man.
No, man. Fuck.
I don't even know what Pink Panther is. That's
Really? That old cartoon.
I know it's a cartoon. I never watched it.
Dana, 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 dana,
Dude,
dana,
I
they're
don't
not
think that's
even
him.
any. They're not gonna know
I
anything
think
now.
that's the one, isn't it?
But
Or am I wrong?
you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna set this up properly. You know what's fucked up? So my laptop's right here, but the screen I'm staring at you guys is on you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was telling Thundy. Like, are you gonna be doing that? And he's like, no, man,
No, I'm looking right at you guys.
that's
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah.
So
But
what are you doing, man? Why you the one that's doing the?
who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm staring at a blank screen. Then I'm gonna fucking hold on.
Wait, well, how's your setup? Like, what are you looking at right now? Your laptop?
Yo, did we start recording? Is this the episode? Just talking about our setups.
Technical difficulties, all right?
This is the fucking
Yo, the
episode.
thing is though, me and him have like I think the first couple episodes we
Bro,
did,
this couple
one
we
of
fucking
them,
started recording and some fucking weird shit got said. I'm like, yo, are we recording it?
I think one of the episodes we didn't even record. I'm like, yo, I didn't even press record. So that's why I just press it early now, and then
Well,
while
you
we're
didn't
going through
press it for
this,
like, there you go. You didn't press it for like a while, and you're like, oh shit, we're not even recording. I'm like, yo, we had some crazy combos too. But anyways, that's nice.
all right,
Fuck,
man, it's been a while since we've been trying to get this together, but
my eye was
uh,
deformed. I fucking rubbed it on the way home and because of all itchy and shit. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, Sim, can I go on podcast? She's like, if you want to look like a Frankenstein.
you
Um,
can't really tell because
well, not now because I took Benadryl and went to sleep.
Hey, you sound kind of stuffy.
Bro, my fucking sinuses are messed.
what did wait, was it when you accidentally ate cashews or whatever?
No, that cashew thing with that bar, that happened like so long ago to the point where that whole box expired and Sim threw it out. I bought the bars and I was so pumped. I'm like, yo, I got some sick ass bars, right? And I just open it up on the box. Nowhere does it say there's nuts. Okay, nowhere. It doesn't say
Not
cashew.
even not even like the
No,
manufactured in facility that could
but at
have.
the back, when you look at the wrapper and you look at ingredients, the fucking first ingredient is cashews. I'm like,
You're like hardcore allergic, right? Like
not
you
hard,
work in
not to
hives
the
and
point
stuff.
of like anaphylactic. I just like when I ate it, instantly my ears got itchy and I just wanted to throw up. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this thing's pretty good, but like, why am I fucking feeling like this? I look at the back cashews. I read all of them. Every single one of them had cashews. I'm like, all right then. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Where'd
And
you buy
it's
them from?
Costco, those Costco protein bars.
the Kirkland ones.
Oh, that's weird.
They have
That
everything.
on
I order bison and shit from Costco. Fucking nuts.
Also, don't they do the peanut thing more for kids? They don't really care about adults with peanut allergies. It's like the Quaker Oats bars. They have the peanut warning for kids. It's not really for people. I mean, older people.
Technically you should like write that it has nuts in it anywhere on the front somewhere. Like at least put like a picture of a cashew or something. Like this
Isn't
is
that a Canadian thing too, though? Like American brands don't do that, right? Like actually, I'm not sure.
but it's Costco Canada, right? They have regulations too. So yeah, but I know for kids stuff, it's for sure like that.
all that
Um,
stuff. All right. Well, this
I
is
don't
the
know about
first.
him.
I think this is the first podcast that we haven't done one with Tawny. Well, Taranveer.
Probably Tawny, I don't
I
care.
call him Tawny.
Yo, I was actually thinking about some of the fucked up shit we did. Do you remember when I messed up Cecil messed up my ankle? I actually thought
Oh,
about this the other day.
yeah.
And so ankle's a mess. I can barely walk. Jenna's still like, yo, I still want to train, right? So I'm in the car with them, driving to Richmond with a busted ankle just so he can train it like another hour, and I'm sitting there as dookie as hell.
Oh wait, yeah. This is when I used to go. We used to go from Sutelas to Richmond.
Yeah, on Saturdays.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
oh man.
I think Dave was fighting at that time too, right? Dave
I don't
Perron.
remember. No, I don't. I just remember looking at my ankle, thinking like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, it never recovered, right?
No, the pieces of bone came out with the tendon, so now I just have like a bone sticking out.
The dangers of leg locks, man.
Stupid Gordon Ryan.
And then there's
No,
me. Oh,
that he came after, man.
who?
I know, but he made it popular now, so now everybody's doing it.
I mean, Dean Lister brought it up, but they never caught wind, and then Danaher, Death Squad, Gordon Ryan, all those guys made it super popular. I mean, I still feel like it's like cyclical, man. It's gonna be a lot of leg locks, then it's gonna trend away from leg locks. Everybody's gonna get savvy to knowing how to defend those, and another area is gonna come back. I feel like it goes in waves of like super technical, complicated techniques to like simple, easy stuff.
Yeah, simple's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing when you do the tool, Sony? You have to keep
But
it simple.
yeah, like when it comes to like entertaining the crowd and actually making people dance and performing, Dhol as simple as it gets. It's you just keep the basic beats. You have a couple of the Dhol in between, and that's it. I find the more complicated stuff you're trying to play consistently, like it one ruins the rhythm of the beat, and the average person doesn't know what you're doing, so there's no point of really doing that stuff, and it just sounds off. Like there's yeah, it's simple, but it's not simple. Like I have people around me that if we were to go hand in hand with like playing Dhol as in technicality, like skill level, they would destroy me just because they have so much more depth of understanding of music, level, like just different beats and everything. But if you put me in front of a crowd and you're like, all right, we're gonna do some bonia, or make these guys dance, or can you just play Dhol, make these guys dance? I'd destroy them because there's a
Are
different.
are the mobile juggos getting like super popular too now? I've seen
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of your guys' videos.
Call
yes
them
and no.
mobile joggo.
Like so, the mobile jugger that we started initially, that kind of fell through because we didn't push it as hard as we could have. Number two, the market got fucking destroyed with all this immigration here that the price we were charging for a mobile juggle was like 1,300, right? Which included two toll players, a pickup truck, a DJ, and speakers, and you would go around the block, do whatever we need to do. Now
Uh,
you got these guys showing up with their own speakers, those portable ones with the microphones now,
yeah.
and they'll do these gigs for like $400, $500, and you're just like, all right, or you're like, hey, $1,300, we'll bring a truck, like we have a truck, we'll have everything, and then everyone's like, oh, we got a speaker, but it's all that Costco speaker, that portable one, and that thing, like, that thing's not loud enough. You start playing one tone even, and it's louder than that system, right? We bring like actual proper setup with two massive speakers, so that way the sound is louder than the tones. But the mobile jog goes, we're just doing more tone and Bolivia now. That's what we've kind of set up now. Connected well with a few of the guys, and that's something we're regularly pushing now. Is if you're doing a jog go, book Bolivia with it.
Oh, okay.
Just because it just makes sense. Get the families involved, and it works out better than just having just stole.
Mm.
Actually, you know what I want to ask, man? Now that we're on kind of on like wedding type talk, what are your thoughts on you know how they're doing protests at some of these weddings that are taking part at
Man,
farms and stuff? Like, what do you think about
I've
that?
had fucking three weddings, two that were one that was completely canceled, two which I went to where they only allowed the DOS. So basically I did the grooms walk in, did played during the melody. The family went and ate. After that, everyone sat down. The guy did his walk down the aisle. The girl did her walk down the aisle. Everything the same minus there's no Manaji beat there. Granti's there. They do ardas. That's it. Serve lunch, right? But what I don't understand, and I don't know if anyone that who believes in that or whatever is gonna watch this or whatever. I need one thing answered, which I will probably ask somebody eventually when I get there. Like if I get to a Gurdwara, someone says something, I want to ask is what is the difference between allowing like Bancy Farms, for example.
Mm.
Bancy Farms doesn't allow any parties. They by 3 all their events are done. They only do weddings. They don't do any parties. Yet they shut down that place. They showed up there, and supposedly what I heard, if it's true, they actually showed up and took the Marajidi,
Yeah.
right? But that place is like the most like Jyoti's wedding was there. I've been to multiple weddings there. It's one of the most peaceful setups because you're out in nature, you're out in all that. Plot is happening, all that stuff's happening. What I don't understand is where do you draw the line? You're bringing Marajidi to people's houses for a part, and God knows what happens in these houses. What's in the
Yeah.
house? Drugs, alcohol.
No, what's
Fucking-
the reasoning behind like not allowing it? Like
Supposedly,
what is the opposite sides?
this is the cult I find. I mean, the issue with our culture is there's no consistency in their fucking reasoning. Meaning, there's so many different things. One, I'm hearing they're like, there's too much going around, too many distractions, no one's paying attention. It should be in a gurdwara, it should be in a religious setting where everything's focused on the wedding, everyone should be fully focused into the wedding. I get it when they're saying this in Mexico or places where like you got the wedding happening, but there's a beach right there, there's a pool right there, everyone's distracted, staring at people, and people are walking around drinking. I get it. Those kind of things make sense. But like stopping a wedding where like if I'll bring Bansi into it again, like who's walking around there doing things stupid? Everyone's there for the wedding. A Gurdwara. There's no difference, man. Like you think people listen at the Gurdwara? How many people are just walking around outside and even drinking in the parking lot, whatever else that goes on, right? Or half the people there are probably hammered from the night before. So the part that I don't understand is how are you allowing parts at homes?
No,
You're
no,
not
no. So
doing
like,
it
Sonny, what I'm asking is like, what is the opposite side saying? Like, this is not acceptable because of what reasons? Like, what's their perspective on why it
like
shouldn't be allowed?
people like whose events there are.
So like, let's say the protester people, whoever they are from the Gurdwara side or whatever,
Yeah.
come in and they say this is not acceptable. Don't do this. What is their stance? Like,
That's
why
what
are
I'm
they
saying to
saying
you.
that?
That's what
Because
I'm
like
saying to you.
when we went to India,
Yeah.
we had counterparts at our farm with animals like there.
Their reasoning is literally what I was just saying. Like, one, it's not in a religious setting. It should be here. Should be at the Gurdwara only. Um, you're taking some of it. Some people are saying it's related to money because Gurdwara are losing bookings, but they're not. Gurdwara are still fully booked, and they're actually so booked that like that's the reason this outside wedding stuff started. It wasn't COVID. It was already kind of happening.
I don't think they're fully booked because
No,
like they're
not as much as they used to be because of this outside
yeah.
option, which cool. Like if that's what the issue is, fine. But
But
like
like honestly, that doesn't look good if it's just a monetary reason.
the thing is, I haven't got a clear reason from anybody, man. Everyone's reasons are different. Like, okay, I did a brought in Richmond last week. The groom lived in Richmond, the bride lived in Richmond. They literally live like how it's like walking from my old house to Bear Creek Market. Okay, like fucking 5 minute walk. So we walked from the groom's house to the bride's house. Her house is on a farm that they have produce and everything like that, and sell stuff, whatever it is. But they allowed it there.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why you would allow a wedding at someone's house that they own at a farm, and what is the difference between someone having a venue?
I think it's a small group of people because from what I heard, there's like one lady on TikTok who's like getting all the information and giving it to the uncles that then go and grab it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a lot of people.
There's a lot of people are against it. Like I know it came from the Kaltak and like it came from the Golden Temple and like they made that decision. They whatever it is, like they're like that's who made the decision. But that's the response that these guys are getting when they come to venues. Like one of my guys was at an event and he called me. He's like, "Bro, these guys just showed up with Krapanda and everything, right? Like they didn't pull them out on anybody, but they're standing there like, we're gonna fucking raid the wedding, this that." The bride and groom literally ran through the. They didn't even do the venue. Ran to the where the Maji bead was. Quickly did the llama, while other people held those people back. Rushed the llama and
The thing
everything.
is, sorry to cut you off, Sonny. The thing is though, like if that's the case, they shouldn't even be allowed to take the Maharaj from the Gurdwara to there and not
So
even
that's
take the
what's
bookings. They should just be like, yo, we don't take bookings outside
so
versus letting
that's what
somebody
happened
set up
now.
their whole wedding, their like, their biggest day, leading up to that point. And then all of a sudden somebody's going to be like protesting on the outside or waiting
Yeah,
for you to
like
quickly get it done and out. You know what I mean?
that's what's
You
happened
ruin it.
now. Like there, I don't want to say like which Gurdwara it is, but like that's the one gonna I always see. And the one wedding I did, he was there, and he's like, they're not letting us bring the Manji be like they're outside. They're like, it's made it clear that you can't take it to these venues. But then I saw him again, like that Richmond went, where it's like, what is the difference now? Like this is their house, but it's still a farm. I don't understand the reasoning behind any of this. Like you guys, the reason is keep it religious, keep it this, keep it spiritual, and whatever else reasons there are. But then you need to put your foot down completely. Don't allow Kanpats at home. Don't allow the Marji to leave anywhere. Just everything should be at the Gurdwara. It's an ongoing issue in I feel like in a culture in general, man. Think about so many things that they put people put their foots down on. Like they have this strict rule about like you can't do this, but then you can still do this. It doesn't
So,
make any sense.
well, I mean, the other thing too is like, I don't know when the like council was formed, but there was something formed in like the 1800s about protecting Sikh Maryada, like our decorum. And then those guys are still around and they
Yeah, yeah,
dictated like, hey, like if you're going to a Gurdwara, like you can't wear a topi. You have to
yeah,
wear like
yeah,
a pag or a
yeah,
rumal. So like me, like if I take that safa and I've done this before and put it on, like that's apparently not allowed. But like the guru never said that.
yeah.
It was just a bunch of dudes from the
Yeah, yeah, that's what
1800s.
it is. It's people
Yeah.
just trying to make this rule out. Like, for example, number one thing is the Gurdwara don't allow us to play toll.
Yeah.
Like, explain to me how this is fucking wrong. Like, where does it say this? You can't play toll. There's no. It doesn't say anywhere. I've asked people that are fucking like deep into religion, right? Like they're like, this doesn't say this anywhere. It's just their stupid rules. But then when they're doing Gatka or anything else, we get calls regularly, and that's not the Gurdwara, right? It just doesn't make sense, and like no one's able to give a clear answer. Like even when I've asked Granthis at the Gurdwara, I'm like, why? What is the reason? It's Balaji was like, I was like, but does it say you can't play to a wedding? Like,
I mean,
No.
it's just like if you're gonna put things into place, it
yeah.
should be across the board and it should be stopped in the first stages. So, for example, if that's not going to be allowed anymore or whatever, you just don't allow for bookings like that. But
I
then,
think
but
now,
then, but then that begs the question, like, then couldn't we argue the fact that doing bars at your house are done now? Everything has to be done at the
but it should
Gurdwara.
be then.
If that's the
That's
case, yeah. I
that's how
mean,
it should
we're
be.
we're
Then
a
it's just
little bit like, I guess, like somewhat ignorant to the other side. We don't know what the other side's stance is or view. We haven't gotten like a real legitimate reason.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is though, and some of the reviews are kind of dumb. I'm just gonna say it. Like you can't marry a non-Sikh anymore. So like
yeah,
AV
at the Gurdwara.
married a Hindu
Yeah,
girl, that's not allowed.
yeah.
So his wedding, like, does that just not count anymore? So does
That's
everybody before, like, are their weddings like invalid now in front of God?
literally what's happening is like I heard there was I saw a video or post somewhere about someone saying that like a Sikh wedding is supposed to be between two Sikh people, meaning like
Yeah,
two Amritari people.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
not even supposed like we're not even technically supposed to be getting married at the Marjibidi because we're Munne, right? We're not Amritari. That's technically the real reason, and they're trying to push that, but it's like it doesn't make any sense. And then you know what people did push the limits. Like there's people out there that girls that are married, divorced, stuff that's really revealing, which is stupid, right? There's some lines to things, and there's like that one couple that fucking had the Gora he wore a cowboy hat.
yeah.
Yeah, that got a
Like,
lot
bro,
of that got a lot of media attention. Yeah.
there's fucking lines to this shit. Like there are limits, right? Like as a person who's from the culture, how do you allow that to happen?
I actually didn't think that big of a deal.
Huh?
I actually didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Is at the end of the day, his head was covered. Is that's what matters? That's what the thing is, right? But
It just opens the door for some wild
yeah,
stuff, man.
exactly. Like people are just pushing the fucking limits of things, and it doesn't make any sense, you know?
I was like, who's to say you don't have like some sort of like, signage on your cowboy hat the next time, or
Yeah,
people will always push the boundaries. So like, I mean, it's understandable, but I mean, what's the difference? He could have just wore a Ramal or whatever, and then
Yeah,
afterwards put it
and
on
you know
and
what?
took
I
all their
get it.
pictures and
Like
stuff, right?
that, if you in his defense, like the cowboy hat is their thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Because it
that,
was in like
like
Texas, right? Or like the
yeah, yeah,
States
yeah.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Like,
yeah.
I get it, but then don't just understand that if you get lashback or something that like that, don't be butthurt about it.
Mm.
Right. But like again, yeah, that whole situation is just stupid. Like now a lot of the weddings, people that have already booked them are either looking for different venues or they're just doing the Adas and
I had a buddy's brother. They
yeah.
were gonna do an outdoor one in Chilliwack, and they canceled it. Well, actually, the Granthi said like, "Hey, like I'm getting accosted, so you guys can't do it outdoors anymore."
Next
So
year?
they had to huh?
Next year, this year.
Next year.
Yeah, yeah,
So
okay.
then they had to rebook for like a Wednesday or a Thursday. So now they're doing their wedding on like a Wednesday or a
So
Thursday.
now they are like following suit and saying like no outdoor ones anymore.
No, like so they said this last year when they officially when it first came announced, but they gave everybody like a year window to get your shit together and figure it out. But when they came and cracked down this year, it came out of nowhere. It wasn't even like a warning or anything. They just boom. It was like, all right, today's the day. We're gonna go crash weddings. And people are like, how are people finding out about weddings? I'm like, man, like, look
So
how
that
many.
girl on TikTok, man.
Well, not even that, but imagine like you have relatives in your family that are just ready to fucking start shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just takes one person to just make the call. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I personally think it's stupid. I believe in a lot of it where people are pushing limits. Like I said, like I went to my first wedding in Mexico, and it was amazing. Like it was on the rooftop. There was no distractions. It was chill. But there are ones that are on the beach, and you're standing on the beach. People walking on liquor. There's like girls walking around the bikini, whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
I get it. That maybe is pushing the limits, but then just completely cracking down on venues that don't even do alcohol, do anything stupid. It it really doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I think the easiest thing to do, I think the onus is probably on the Gurdwaras in a sense of like deciding what's the decision and stick with it. So at least people know, right?
yeah,
But
that is a decision now. I mean,
But
it's
I'm
made it clear.
curious then how much will people like out of spite be like, all right, screw it then. We'll just do court marriage or something.
That's what's gonna happen. That's what I'm saying. Like, all the wedding planners that I've discussed with too, like, they're like, you guys. The biggest thing is that the generation is going away from Sikh. They're not, they're running. You don't think this is gonna push people away even more? Like, people are just gonna be like, "Child, I'm not doing good." And now this is the perfect excuse for people telling your parents like, "Yo, I'm not. I don't want to get married in Guatemala. They're not letting me get married outside." All right, let's go court marriage, right? But
I was just taking a story
I know, I
picture.
know. I was gonna make a face, but I wasn't sure. Um, but yeah, man, like that. It's
so
interesting. See, like there's just things that are pushed. Like right now, guys are even talking about saying that I think all God daughters might just stop Dhol completely because there's these dumbasses here right now, um, that have started a team out here and they're doing fucking like Mulway at wedding entrances, which is
yeah,
like
okay. Yeah.
in my opinion is just stupid. I think keep it fucking traditional, keep it classy, have one or two tollies, three tollies, band baja, and just keep it simple. These guys are showing up in Korte Chadar, tupping around like a bunch of dumb fucks with chimte, like just like, and to hear that me saying this, well, fuck you, don't do it.
Well,
Um,
fuck you, dude.
but like, there's limits to some things, man. I'm just like, what the fuck you guys think? This is just stupid, man. But people are booking it because you know what? There's so many people here now, and because of immigration, that like a lot of the desi stuff in India that was just bumping out, they're starting to come here now because this year we noticed. I found a lot of the weddings we did attend were like families have been here for the last few years and now starting to get their kids married or whatever, right? So their budgets weren't even that high. Um, and that's what the market is right now. It's just it, it's it's fucked. But I mean, every industry's fucked. Um,
What do you mean?
wedding industry wise, like
Oh.
DJs to photography to everything, everyone's like getting up saying, "Oh, I'm gonna grab a camera. I'm gonna start taking wedding photos. I'm gonna make kill on money." Yeah, you can, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. But then they're undercutting, and then they're not realizing that was shit. This undercutting wasn't worth it. Um, and it's just it's stupid.
I mean, I think it's good for the market because no offense to the
It,
wedding industry, but fuck you guys. Like, why is makeup for I don't know, a wedding 3 to 5
yeah,
times
it's
more
insane.
than
Some of the
normal
stuff is
wedding
just
stuff?
insane. Yeah, yeah,
Right? Like the
yeah.
markup on weddings is stupid. It's literally a happiness
Yeah,
tax.
like it was a good thing in a sense, but it messed things
Coming
up too.
from
Because,
coming from the guy that still has to get married, he's probably looking at the
I
bills.
I've heard
He's
your
probably
guys'
looking at the
stories.
bills like, "Oh my God, man!" And his tagline is, "I don't got no money. I got no money. I'm broke. I got no
I
money."
got no money, dude.
yeah,
I
like
got no money, dude.
somebody was somebody was clowning a a barber that started doing like groom wedding days, the stuff at the coming to your hotel stuff and freshening up for the reception and stuff. Guys charging like I think 150 for the 150 for the haircut or something, and plus your parking, whatever else. And apparently, I remember this conversation with the guy, and he's like, "Yo, man, people are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You're charging $150 for a fucking haircut? Like, who do you think you are?" He's like, "Buddy, my haircut that I'm gonna give this guy on his reception night, the day outside, day of the morning, is still gonna last him 2 weeks.
Well, no, how much is a normal cut and beard right now at a good
50,
place?
60, 50, $60.
So now you
Yeah.
got to count the travel, and then also you got to think
No,
about
no,
it too,
but
man.
what his
No, no,
logic
no, no.
was,
Wait. So like, for example, like the bug tying, right? You have guys that are like, okay, the groom will be 150 to 200,
yeah,
but everybody else additional is going to be like 75, 100 or
yeah,
whatever. I I mean, if you think about it, like like a lot of the time, like when I, like, for example, I'll use myself for example,
yeah,
the same way that mine was tied, right, was tied similarly to everybody else that got it tied, except
yeah,
I got more than double to
yeah,
pay for that.
yeah.
So I mean, it just depends. Like, it's kind of crazy some of the stuff, but at the same time, here's the deal, man. Like, it shouldn't become the standard, in my opinion. It should just kind of be a luxury. There's definitely people that are like, oh, I don't have to go to the place, get my hair cut. I can call this guy to my hotel room and get it done properly. I'll pay it, no problem. So I feel like it should be there for the people that want to pay it, but it shouldn't become like the standard. Like
No,
everybody has to do it.
his logic just was like, here's my option. If you're gonna make me come out of my way, I'm gonna charge you for it.
Yeah.
But his defense was, you guys are, and it was girls that are attacking him, not guys. It was girls were just like, what the fuck, this is stupid. And he's like, yeah, you're about to pay 3 grand for
That's
fucking
more. It's
makeup
like
that
more
just
than
takes
that now,
off.
right?
Dude,
It
it's
has
Yeah.
to be more than
ridiculous.
that now.
What, makeup?
Yeah, dude.
No, no, because that industry got fucking
Bro, it
uh.
was like it was like a
But thing is,
thousand to 1,500 like 7 or 8 years ago, from what I
Sim paid
remember.
Sim paid 25 to 3 grand for the one she had for our wedding.
You got
But yeah,
married
your
years
your
ago.
wedding was 8 years ago,
Yeah,
so it
and
must have gone
25
up by now.
a bit. But thing is, they're already sitting at that top tier. Like even DJs, I think the top tier DJ right now is like 3 grand just for him.
But how come like photo and video keeps climbing?
It because of demand, bro. There's just so many
But
weddings,
but
and
the thing is, every wedding still has DJs, it still has makeup, it still has all this
because
stuff.
you want the best of the best, like especially makeup. Like if you built the rep as a makeup artist that like you just fucking kill it every time, you're gonna get booked because that's the most important thing for that girl. Like she has to look proper. There are girls doing makeup now, bridal for cheap, like $500. I heard like $300, but you're taking a risk now because yeah, you're gonna pay for something cheaper, but are you probably gonna get that
But
look?
Sonny, that doesn't necessarily mean that the quality is going to be lower. Like, for
It doesn't mean
example,
it. It's just a
let's
risk
say,
you're taking. What are you gonna do if like you pay the 500? This chick, yeah, she's got some sick photos on, and some few people have gone to her that's been good, but then she shows up and you're fucked.
but then there's going to be no competition. Like, no new person can come in, build their name because they're never given a shot.
Yeah, it all starts from yeah. It's crazy. Like even DJs right now, like all my guys I work with, they all up their prices by a couple $100, $500, $600 this past for this season, and right away I had to drop it down.
Oh, because they weren't
I
getting bookings?
dropped it back down to the same rate they've had for the last few years because everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on? Why did your rates go up?" But it's because you got students now here. Bro, there's guys that were doing gigs for not $100. How are you gonna
Well,
compete? Like,
everybody's stretched so thin too, though, right? Like
well, yeah,
weddings are
yeah,
already stupidly expensive, and now
yeah.
like after COVID, they doubled, tripled, whatever, and it's like people's wages didn't keep up.
But
So
dude,
So,
some of
well,
these guys, what they're charging, it doesn't even make sense. Like you're not even fucking profiting or making like a DJ to charge $100, bro. A DJ to even charge $200. Okay, we charge 300, 400, and I'm maybe like the most we charge for 450, 500 for one guy. That's a 2 hour booking for us. I'm gone maybe 3 hours out of my night. Let's say half-hour travel each way. If I don't fucking stay back, chill with the boys, whatever. I'm just going there to do the gig and back. 3 hours. I'm getting 450 plus tips, whatever it is. As a DJ, like you're there from fucking 5 p.m. till like 12, 1, 2, depending on what time your party finishes. And you're only gonna get what, 200-300 bucks. So I get it, because the average person making money out here, bro, we barely clears 300 bucks in an 8 hour day. Right? So I get the guys that are doing it also aren't just born and raised kids here. They are all like immigration students or whatever it is, just trying to make, and I get it. Hustle's a hustle, but like there's just limits to things, man. Like you can't fuck the market that bad. Like even those raps that are happening for like vinyl raps for tours, the average vinyl rap like 1,500 bucks, up to 2 grand for like a crazy one that's not even complicated. And I know that the shit's expensive too. So like I know a proper wrap average for like a basic one is like the wrap alone costs them like 700-800 bucks. Sometimes these guys are going doing things for 600 bucks, 700 bucks.
But like, you know, some of these bigger companies, couldn't they just do like a lower ticket offer? Like, let's say economically, it just doesn't make sense.
No, the thing is,
so you have your like high end thing, and then you could just be like, okay, we offer this if it's harder for you, rather than going with like, you know, what you were saying, the unpredictable guys that could be like, you know, undercutting, and then the quality might be
the
low
cheaper
too.
one, just what happens is it just starts fucking up by like midnight throughout the night. Like it start peeling or like weird shit will happen. But some also logic behind that is probably like, hey man, people are gonna start dancing anyways. Who cares? As long as it looks nice at the beginning, who cares how it looks after by the end, right?
Hmm.
And DJs too, like people are just like, we just need music, or we'll give you a playlist, and I would just go with that. But there's some things that you can't cheap out on, man. And I find DJ, food, those two things, like
Back to Jinlo's point, it's the
yeah,
videography and stuff too, though.
yeah,
I think the reason why they're priced so high is like literally, at least for women, I know do this. I don't know any guys that do this. They like to look back at the next day edit, the videos, the pictures. They actually go through all that stuff. I don't know any guys that enjoy doing that, but I know
But
the
I'll
girls
give you
do.
an example. Me and Sonny got a mutual friend, Jazz, and he was telling us he went with the higher ones. He paid like for the top ones, and he's
what
like, man, Jazz Sian.
for what are you talking about?
So he's
Photography?
talking like we're just talking about like I think it might have been video. I could be wrong. One either or video or audio, or photography. One of
Yeah,
them. But he paid for like the top notch stuff, and he's like, man, it took forever to get the stuff back. He had to send it again and again and again for like, okay, this doesn't look good. These are horrible.
yeah.
Like, you know, and we're talking about the top notch ones, right? Whereas this is where I'm saying, like, what if some of these emerging ones that, yes, they can't, maybe they're not at the level to charge like the top, but what if they're like hungry and their quality is good?
You
You got
know,
to give them, you got to kind of give them a shot. And, you know, let's be honest here. Not everybody's just going to book photo shoots for just the wedding events. A lot of them do like couple shoots and,
yeah,
you know, like
and
those lifestyle type shoots, right? For parents that have the kids shoots, like this is where you can give people an opportunity in the smaller ones and then make the big purchase a little bit later.
like what's
I guess
happened now is like the big photography video guys, the big companies that have built a name, they're they're not even doing the editing anymore.
Hmm.
Before, like these top tier guys, they were spending time editing. That's why they were charging so much, because when they weren't recording or doing this wedding, they were in the back editing stuff for people's wedding, and that's why the turnaround time was like 6 months, almost a year for some videos, because they were doing it themselves. Now these guys are getting people in India and here, so just in general, to do all the editing. They just pumping out the content and just sending it to these guys to do the editing, and it doesn't help because, like for example, Sergio, who did like my wedding, your wedding, these guys they still till this day do their own shit. And why that makes a difference is, you know who was at that wedding, who's important, who's not, because you just did it, right? Like when you send this editing to like people that don't know anything, I've got like even Jyoti's like she got her wedding videos back, and there's a bunch of stuff that was like missing in the sense of like where are the scenes of family? Like it's just like a lot of like candid shots and like cool freaking scenes, but like we're brown, man. People want to see who was there, you know, like they want to see each other, like all that shit. So like that stuff's missing, and it's just because it is what it is. The same thing with decor. Like I heard people are like so many randoms are hired, and the person owning it has got this vision, but it's not being delivered because the people that are in front don't have that same vision, right? So I don't know, man. Let's see. Like I'm hoping next year things pick up again, where like it's not as bad as it was right now. Because this year people, but we're budget weddings, and I don't blame it. It's probably because of like fucking mortgage rates and everything else has gone up, and things are just been messed up,
State of the
right? But
economy, yeah.
yeah, with them coming back down now supposedly, so let's see if that makes a difference. Same thing with our chair business. Like one of the reasons why it hasn't popped is because all this increase in rates and everything. Like we got bookings, but it's not the way we thought it would be, right?
I mean, you got to grind it out in certain businesses too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, like
There's going to be, sorry, go ahead.
you can build yourself up to get people to know that hey, you guys are here and bookings. But again, it's a very niche market.
It's still a great time to just develop your personal brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People can find out who you are.
yeah,
And then from there, because a lot of the time, yes, they want to look at the product, but they also will go with the person that has the personal brand and the person that they like that's authentic and stuff like
yeah,
that too, right? So you
yeah.
kind of just people just got to pivot a bit. But man, I was gonna ask you something. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Sergio from Dreamfinity. He did the pictures, and then his partner is it Melinda.
Yeah.
So Melinda actually did like what is it, the pregnancy shoots and things like that. The kid some of them with the kids and stuff. So um it was good. He did a good job, man.
Yeah, he did everything for me. Like he did our wedding. He did all our pre-shoots. Even for a maternity shoot. We Melinda did the one for Assis. And Hookup. Did both of them.
Okay, nice.
Right?
Now here's a one thing though. I can't nail it. So I know a lot of people that move here and live here from that came from the UK. A lot of them lose their accent. But then there's some that like maintain their accent. Is it because they're intentionally trying to keep it and don't want to let it go?
I think that's the only thing I can think of because if you lose it, you've only lost it because you're starting to say words the way we do. But truthfully, like I'm yet to meet anybody from England that's lost their accent. I've
That
so
lost their accent? I know at least like 4 or 5 people at least.
yeah, I can't think of anybody like my entire like so much of my dad's family's from there and like all my Thai they're all still here, like they all still have it and they've been here for like fucking 15 years, 20 years,
Mm.
and it hasn't changed at all. Like it's still fully like even Johnny, like my brother-in-law, like he's been here for like I mean, him and dad they got married a long time ago when she was 21, so I was like in elementary school I think and stuff.
Mm.
Like and he still got the accent thick too. I
Okay.
just think I feel like it depends on which part of England maybe they're from, because some are deeper accents. But again, like you said, like if you go to the country and you start talking like if I went to England and just started saying certain words and just constantly doing it, I'd probably come back with a British accent. And you guys would be like, "What the fuck you doing?"
I don't know if
I
that's
think
how
you'd be
that
fake.
happens.
I think you'd be faking it. Like
Yeah.
No, like that's what I'm saying. Like you guys would be like, "What the hell's wrong with you? Talk like fucking like, way you normally talk, idiot." Like, like
what are we gonna call this segment?
reunion.
No, what are we gonna call it? Like what it's gonna be titled? It can't be BKB podcast, man. We didn't talk about anything nutrition or anything. And then bro chat's already gone. Somebody else took that. Should we do bro talk or
That's a good name. That's a good question.
then Thundy said Baines Bros podcast doesn't work.
Because everyone's gonna think something else, dude.
And then Sunny's on here too, so like it's like
So you gotta change your last name, bro.
No, I'm trying to think of a name that represents us.
should we do bro talk?
Bro talk works.
No, it's too similar to Bocha.
Well, let's. I mean,
I
he.
don't know.
I
You
bet you.
never know.
I
Never
bet his
Lead
price
chat.
similar to something else.
know.
Yeah.
Whoever might see us and be like, "What these fucking ones?"
Hey man, any publicity is good publicity, right?
Dude, the amount of shit we talked out, it's gonna be
the
pretty
Goga
bad
ones.
publicity.
What are you talking about? We didn't talk a lot of smack. We just talked about subjects that were like kind of trending right now. Because
Watch us,
I
watch
remember
us pop
talking
up on
about that
TikTok.
stuff.
Are you saying a name for like a completely now?
No. Like this segment we can call Bro Talk or whatever. But then like we want to do one about jiu-jitsu as well. Because man, like 15 years plus of jiu-jitsu, I kind of want to talk about it. I got a lot of passion for it.
Do you
So I
want
was,
your podcast should have one name for everything, or no? You want to do it like a
nah,
couple?
why? Like we have different segments, man.
Mm.
You know, we could do Bro Talk, which is us, which is just chop chop. Like we just basically talked about wedding industry, you know, and Gurdwara stuff. And then like, you know, stuff like that for an hour.
Watch somebody
Pretty
tell that
negative. Oh,
never.
we'll change it up. Maybe the last one we could change
बड़े
up.
सारे इन्हों सारे ढोली ਨੂੰ ਫੜੋ ਸਾਲਾ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਾ ਸਾਲਾ ਭੌਂਕੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ I'm gonna get that one booking one day. It's gonna be like, yo, I'm in a forest.
You got booking it. It's just a hit job on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
That
we gotta figure
that's like
out a
the
name
first
for
thing
it.
that always crosses my head, like at a gig. It's like shit happens, right? Like we had a recent incident where I was putting it all away, and the Bolivian guy that was with me got rushed by three people, and there was like an uncle and like two guys, and they're just, at first I thought they were just talking to him about like a meeting, like, you know, maybe another booking or something. And I look over and I could just tell body language was off, and like eventually when I put my toe away and start walking that way, he's walking towards me and they're walking away, and he just like got like a really sad face. He's like the nicest kid, bro. And he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what happened? And he's like, oh, he's like, they said they're gonna kick my ass. They threatened me. I'm like, for what? And he's like, oh, because the bully we did or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? And so I went up to them and I just called it out, like, oh, what's wrong? Like, what's happening? They're like, oh, I'm like, this and that. I'm like, look, you know, we've been in this industry for this long. We didn't, it's never had an issue with that exact bully. Somebody was sensitive and that was dancing. We're sorry about that, but like, it's not intentional. It's just all fun and games. And number two, you should have more fucking sense. Like you coming here and telling this guy to shit kick, you're gonna just shit kick him. Like, you know, like what is wrong with you guys? And I'm not thinking about him like me being sometimes angry as I can be. You have to. I can't put myself in a situation because it's like if I shit kick, so something happens, right? Something happens and his pipe breaks out, and then also I get a phone like 2 3 later. Hey, we need you at a booking. Right? It could just be a straight setup too, right?
Yeah.
You just fucking keep it chill and leave it, man. Like fuck.
Okay, so let's end it off with something
Sonny's gonna
proper.
get his ass kicked one day.
Because now it's been like it's been pretty negative and Sonny's gonna get whooped and people are gonna get set up. So actually this was
Oh.
one question that I actually was curious about.
Wait, is our podcast over?
Yeah, we're just gonna do an hour.
Holy shit, that was an hour of shit talking.
Yeah, it's been an hour, dude.
Holy fuck. No wonder Sim gets sometimes mad at me. Like, why? She's like, you talk to like your boys and you just talk non-stop talk all the time. And you guys just keep talking. But whenever I talk to you, we don't talk. I'm like, I was like, fuck. I
Yeah.
needed a response, right? I was like, yo, like, oh, like, or like you text this guy, fucking Capricorns, right? Fucking, yo, something, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still
Bro,
in
I'm
I'm
looking
still
at a response.
I'm still in that world of, you know, when you gotta press five, four
This
times
guy,
to get like
fucking, yeah,
you know,
I'd
the
send this guy
old
like
old
essay off
texting
on
style.
the phone, and this guy's like, send me a K. I'm like, I'd call him like, that's all you're gonna say. He's like, what do you want me to say? I was like, bro, I sent you a fucking essay. He's like, yeah, but I'm fucking typing you an essay back.
A mentor in your life, and then the big thing you learn from them.
Currently,
No, just overall. I can start if you guys need to think about it. So for me, as 100%, it has got to be early as I can remember, like role model, mentor, whatever you want to call it, was Luck Uncle,
Mm.
yeah.
right? He gave me the holy Bible of weight training and the diet. I mean, it was crucial time too because um, for me at the time, didn't have much going on. Is like okay, like not a lot of buddies to hang out with, so I'm like, let me just get in the gym, and then I used to spend like hours in the gym and just eating and literally reading the same book over and over again, to be honest. But that's probably it's got to be him for sure. So the kabaddi player, the one of the greats, Laka from Gajipur.
Who do you got, Sonny?
Yeah, man, like it's not a simple question for me because I've never idolized or someone to that extent. Like I've kind of taken mentorship from people in all different aspects. Like for me, growing up, hands down would be like my grandpa.
Mm.
my grandpa and my dad. Truthfully, like those two guys, probably the ones I looked up to the most, and they mentored a lot of my mindset and things. And then when I realized, hey, I need more in my life, like whether it was training or financial, whatever, then I started searching out for looking at other mentors and seeing what they're doing, because these guys couldn't help me in certain ways. But hands down, I'd say those two are probably my key role models, because my grandpa was huge in fitness. He was he trained hard, and then through them, I was idolized other people. For example, like you said, Laka, he's someone we saw often. So it's always like looking at him like, holy fuck, like I want to be like that one day. But not realizing that until we started training ourselves, how much training it took to even look anything like that, right? And then even till this day, we're still chasing that dream. So mentorship for me, man, like it's been different. Like, but those two guys for sure, my dad and my grandpa, probably my top tier for most of my life. And then in others, but yeah, bodybuilding wise, there's others, and there's different things.
Yeah. Tony, was it that Portland guy for you?
Portland guy? No, not that guy. It's Mike Church. He's the guy that gave me my first job in tech. When I worked in the business school. Cause I didn't know dick about code.
That was your first job out after finishing school?
No, during school. It was an internship or a co-op, whatever it's called.
Was it the web developing stuff?
No, I was tech support for the business school, and like weirdly doing business analyst stuff. But then they had literally no reason to hire me. I had no idea what I was doing, but he still hired me. Because during the interview, he pulled up my really shitty website. He like name dropped something I put on there, and then I just like reached out and I fist bumped him, and then he fist bumped me back. And then he told me after he hired me, he's like, when he left the room, everyone's like, "Yo, do you know that guy?" He's like, "No, but I'm gonna hire him because we fist bumped him." And then he taught me how to code. So that dude.
Wait, when did you work for like the realtor? Like you were developing websites for the realtors. What job was that?
That was my second internship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my second one. Yeah.
How'd that degree? What'd you get your degree in again?
Business.
How you not know?
No, man, because I remember telling him like when he was younger, I'm like, yeah, while you're studying, make sure you spend some hours on your passion, like what you're passionate about.
Oh, okay.
And then he started doing like boot camps and things like that and learned about code, even though he was going to business school. And then
I didn't even go to my own grad.
But we had this ongoing joke of like, yo, so how much of that degree are you using? He's like, nothing. Yeah, basically everything that was learned was like boot camp, self-study.
It's crazy how often that happens now, man.
Not anymore though. Like if you try to pull what I've pulled, like Buddy tried to pull it and then he couldn't get a job because the market's pretty wild right now. So.
Yeah, right now.
No, like if you're talking about coding, I get it, but like man, like a common thing that I have to tell people is, especially people that are kind of stuck in work that they don't really like. I mean, like you have at least an hour, 2 hours, maybe more. You could definitely just like work on stuff on the side and kind of cultivate those things. You know what I mean? Whatever it might be. I think a lot of people don't really know what they're actually passionate about outside of it, or they think like, okay, me and Thundy watched a lot of like different cartoons, animes when we were younger, right?
Still do.
Yeah, yeah, true, very true. And I remember we didn't talk about it much because back in the day it used to be, oh, you guys are watching cartoons, or you guys like babies or whatever. And we're like, we don't care, man. And look, when the creator of Dragon Ball Z died, you got posts from the who's who of everything about DBZ posts of like, and Sunny still hasn't watched it. Anyways, what I mean by that is, yeah, basically reaction videos to these anime shows. They're crazy. Like people are watching this stuff. So imagine, people like us, we always used to watch this stuff, and you just have a camera and just doing reaction videos. Now you have reaction videos to reaction videos. That's how crazy it is. And you can monetize that passion. Like you might be like, I like watching anime. I like watching cartoons. I remember our parents telling us about gaming. Don't waste your life gaming. Gibarnaya. Now you got esports. You have, all these different, like people streamers, man. Then he's on Twitch. He's streaming his coding stuff. But there's like people literally playing video games. They're not even like a professional player. They're just playing video games, talking to the community, building their audience, and they're actually able to live off that and actually do quite well. So like there's no excuse, like especially right now where people can't actually just monetize what they like. Like what's that TED talk with that guy where he talks about you could get pretty good at something in like 20 hours?
I don't know.
So like he
I haven't
talked
seen it.
about like it's an old TED talk like from 9, 10, 11 years ago. Probably like 15 minutes long. If you who are like if anybody's listened to the podcast, like if you haven't watched that video, you should watch it because he talks about like the ukulele, which is
Oh
like
yeah, I
kind of
remember that video. Yeah, yeah,
that guy, right?
yeah, yeah.
And he's like his 20th hour was he played the ukulele at the end of the talk, and he's half decent. He couldn't sing, but he was like good with the basics. So we're talking about like enough to play in front of a group of people and play it half decent. Like, oh man, he's pretty good, like a 7 out of 10 level. And all he did was 20 hours on this thing. So that's like Sonny picking up a guitar, finding out like, oh, okay, what are the basic strings to learn? And then in 20 hours, see how you play, and you'll be like, holy crap, that's actually pretty good. So most people could get at a half decent level in just 20 hours of study and actually practicing.
You-
So like there's no reason why like people can't pick up a new skill, get started, and if they're passionate, especially if you're passionate about it, man, like I could sit there and train jujitsu and talk about technique and discuss all that stuff all day. Nutrition, like different diets and different things, and you did this. Like a lot of the time, me and you talk about training and nutrition, and like we could spend hours on the topic, especially if there's something new to talk about, right? It's just I think a lot of people get caught in the loop, but you could always put a couple extra hours into whatever it is, and then just get you never know, you might be able to like monetize your passion and that life of like working at a specific job that maybe you didn't like, you can change it, right?
Yeah, like the 20 hours thing makes sense too because I taught a kid. He's a guy I told 2 weeks ago, and his sister's wedding was yesterday, and he basically moved back from Montreal, and he contacted me 2 weeks before the wedding. He's like, "Hey man, I want to learn how to play Dhol, and I want to play at my sister's wedding." And I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah, no problem, whatever." I'm back in get you in touch with somebody because I didn't really want to get into teaching. But then someone reached out like, "Yo, like I know this guy. Can you just teach him?" I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." I'm like, "Hey, when's your deadline? Like, when do you need to know by?" He's like, "September 29th." I'm like, "Dude, it's September 2nd." And I was stressed. Like, holy shit! Like, what is this guy going to pick up? Like, I'm like, why don't you book somebody, and then you can just play with that person, learn it. But then now you have someone with you, and he's like, "No, like I want to do it." I was like, "All right." And he came by for 2 sessions, 1 hour sessions, and then I told him to spend an hour a day at least practicing up until the wedding, and you should get hopefully decent by then. Not decent, but he sent me a video the other day, and I was impressed. I was like, man, like a little bit of cleaning up to do for sure, but I'm like, you got it down, and he did this thing yesterday, and I was like, oh, pretty cool, man. And the whole reason is because he actually had the passion for it. He was interested in it. It wasn't just like being forced to be put through something that he didn't want to do.
Yeah, that bro, that's like 45 minutes a day for a month is
Yeah,
basically like 20 hours.
yeah,
So like you could like for example like pick something. Like even swimming for example, right? Maybe it'll take you a little bit longer, but if you're doing 45 minutes of actual focused learning on that, by the end of the month you're going to be pretty damn good.
100%. Like even I know somebody too like that. Like the guy never knew how to swim. He went to swimming. The guy's doing triathlons now.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking lives
Wait, who
swimming.
are you talking about?
Jazz.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
couldn't
yeah, yeah,
swim. He
yeah, yeah.
literally was like, dude, I just wanted to
We
learn to
had
swim.
we had him on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just
Uh,
like, that still boggles me. It's like, fuck, man. Like, you go from just learning to swim, and even me learning to swim, I'd swim and probably still swim in a pool, man. I don't know if I'd go jump in a fucking ocean and start swimming across
Yeah,
it.
that's a different thing.
he
Right?
tells
Like,
that story though about that lady that he met that actually did that. Like he was learning. She's kind of coaching him as well in the cold water.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. But like, it's crazy, like how uh, what you can do in this world, man. Like, you're capable of doing if you really put your mind and energy to it.
Yeah, but
But the
that's why
biggest
it's
thing,
so much easier, bro, to like pick something you like.
but
45 minutes a day of something you hate, yeah,
it's
okay,
it's also
but
your mind, man. Like I find that you could be good at something, and everyone could be telling you, but if your mindset's not there to believe it, like,
Hmm.
right, like then that's
The
change your
it's
environment,
Rock,
dude.
Rock
Just
Lee and Guy Sensei, man.
you could be you could be around. I have people around me that like I'm constantly pouring into them, and their environment, everyone around was positive, and it's just
let me give you an example. So give me an example of a specific skill you're talking about, like for somebody to pick up.
for me right now, a skill that I want to pick up and master is swimming.
Okay, cool. Me and you're gonna meet up every day. We're gonna sign up with
Bro, we're
somebody.
gonna hug each other and drown.
No. We're gonna hire somebody. We're
Yeah,
gonna pay,
yeah,
but it's gonna be every single day or 5 days a week for 6 weeks,
yeah,
hour-long sessions, and we're gonna
yeah.
go without fail. And you're telling me that after 6 weeks you won't even have like a basic
Oh,
understanding
for
of how
sure
to swim?
no, 100% you would.
So what you just did was you just changed the environment. You didn't give yourself an option. You have somebody you have to go with.
No, I'm talking about mindset. I'm talking about like I'm talking about
Oh,
mindset of like you could still be good at something. And I'm seeing the generation now just everyone just so in their head. Well, because opinions matter so much. I find now,
oh yeah.
you know, like our parents grew up in the thing like, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna say?
That's a
And I
constant
feel
talk at
like right,
our that's a constant talk at our house too, man.
no, but like right now, and I feel like the generation is now going through it in a version, but it's more social media now, man. Like it's comments on posts and like I have like people I work with that like are doing blog posts now, and they're just it took them years to start doing them because they were just so worried about what are people gonna say, how am I gonna look,
Mm.
how am I gonna sound. Well, fuck, like I'm like, yo, like if it's something you actually want to do, you're gonna get hate if you're doing something good.
And you're gonna find your
It
people
comes
though.
with it. It's part of the fucking game. Just post and don't read comments if you just can't take it.
No, but that's another thing that I don't really agree with. If you're Joe Rogan,
Yeah,
right, and we just actually it's funny we were like training a little bit earlier. We just talked about this. He had FU money from Fear Factor. He
yeah,
didn't need any more money after that. So
yeah,
everything he did after that, he doesn't need to interact with an audience. He doesn't have to do that
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
So that's where a lot of people get that, oh, don't respond to comments, blah, blah, blah. But like I remember when John Meadows was still alive, he was like reading every message early on in his YouTube, and he's actually responding back.
yeah, yeah,
And if you're building a community, because you're gonna find your people too.
yeah,
Like people are gonna find out real quick that Sonny, you're not for them. But then you're also gonna attract eventually, if you're out there long enough, people that like, oh, this guy's legit. I like
yeah.
this guy. And then when you communicate back and forth with them, that's another thing too, man, because you're communicating, you guys are building like rapport, and you guys are, you're providing value too, man. So I think it's like it's massive like that. But anyways, okay, this is definitely better ending.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.